Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. My name is Rachel Harrison Sund, and I've built a six-figure publishing business publishing low-content books on Amazon. And in this video series, Low-Content Book Publishing for Beginners, I'm going to show you how to build a solid foundation so that you can do the same thing with your own business. Today's video, we are going to dive a little bit deeper into niche research, and we're going to talk about how to validate your low-content book idea. Now, idea validation is definitely the most critical part of the book publishing process. You want to know out of the gate that you've got a good chance of making sales on that book before you ever spend so much as 2 minutes towards its creation. A lot of people don't do this correctly, if at all. A lot of people just spend time and effort creating books that they think would be cool, or just books that they would like to create, out of their own creative needs. And then, no surprise when that book doesn't sell on Amazon. So we really want to avoid that. We want to try and make sure that we are creating books that people actually want to take their wallets out and pay for, because that is the only way that you're going to make any sales at all, and it's certainly the only way that you're going to be able to start generating, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000 or upward. So that's what we're going to focus on today. So the first thing I do when I've got an idea that I would like to validate is I've got 4 specific questions that I like to ask myself. Firstly, I want to know, are people already actively searching for this book on Amazon? The second question, if I determine that people are actively searching for that book, is, are there similar books? If there are similar books, then I know that there is probably a market, because those similar books already exist and are already present on Amazon. The third question I want to find out is, are those books making any sales? If they're making sales, then I know that it is a viable market that's present. And then the fourth and final question I like to ask myself is, can I beat the competition? Because of course, even if you've answered positively to the first 3 questions, we still don't know if our book's going to stand a chance once we publish it. So we want to really know what we're up against before we put that time and effort into creating that book. So I do my entire validation process on Amazon, and I'm going to flip the screen right now and I'm going to show you how to answer each of those 4 questions using Amazon. Okay, so once again, before we head over to Amazon, we're just going to open up an incognito window, and that just removes Amazon's search bias. So I've already done that. I've got my window open here, and we're going to start our validation process answering our first question, which is, are people already searching for this book in Amazon? And the way we know that is we're going to take our first keyword that we're trying to validate, and in this example, we're going to use line journals for women. And as we type that in, if that keyword shows up in the drop-down, then we know for certain that people have actually looked for this exact keyword. So that's a good sign. So this is just one of the keywords that we came up with in the first video when we were just generating a list of ideas. We found this in the drop-down, so we did already know that this was a keyword that people were actively searching for. So once we've done that, and we could have done this beforehand as well, but we're just going to go into the books department, and then that's just going to weed out any of the other things that aren't actually paperback books. And paperback books are what we're creating, so that's all we're really interested in here. You are going to get a few other things like this, imitation leather, spiral bound hardcover and stuff like that, but we're just going to ignore that. So the second question we want to have answered is, do other similar books already exist? So if we've typed in a keyword that we know people are already searching for, and very few books or no books show up, what that could mean is we could be onto a niche that is waiting for some books to be created. So that could be a new niche that's worth tapping into. On the other hand, if there are books up that already exist, that's not a bad thing. That does mean then that there is an existing market for this. So that's actually a good sign too. We do want to pay attention to how many books already exist. So for example, when we go up into the left-hand corner here, we can see that there's over 50,000 results. So that's a fairly saturated keyword. You know, if this was me and I was validating this keyword, I probably wouldn't want to use this as one of my main keywords because it is quite saturated. But this is still just an example, so we're going to just keep moving forward with this particular keyword. So the third question we want to have answered is, are these books making sales? So in order to find that out, we're going to look at the bestsellers rank for some of the books on the first page or two here. So again, we're only interested in the paperback books, so we're just going to skim past the Spiral Bound and the Imitation Leather. And we're just going to open up a new tab for each one of these. You don't have to open up too many tabs, you know, just a few on the first page. You know, you can open up a couple on the next page too if you want. And then we're just going to scroll down, and what you're looking for is the Amazon bestsellers rank right here. So for this one, the bestsellers rank is 139,000 in books. So what that's telling us is this book is making sales. It's not a super hot seller at 139,000, but it is generating a few sales a month. So we'll close that and we'll move on to the next one. Again, 456,000. That's not a great rank, but it is making a few sales. Okay, 175,000. Again, not great, but it is making some sales. Got 405,000 here. 108,000. It's a little bit better. Okay, so this one's ranked 5,000. So that's pretty good. You know, that's definitely probably selling, you know, a few copies a day. So in general, the books on the first page here, they're selling. You know, we're not seeing any amazing sales here, except for that one at 5,000. That's pretty decent. But most of them are making at least a few sales a month. So, you know, it could be a keyword that's worth getting into, although when we pair that up with, you know, the fact that we've got 50,000 results, it's pretty saturated. You know, this might not be the best choice of a keyword to go with. It could be one that we just throw into the mix, but it might not be the one that we really want to focus on. So we're going to continue on anyways with the fourth question, which is, how hefty is the competition? So when you're looking at competition, there's a few things that you want to assess. First off, what is the quality like of these books in this keyword? So in general, you know, I would say the quality is not amazing, but it's not bad either. You know, like this one here, that's pretty good quality. In general, the quality is fairly decent. Another thing to consider is, you know, is there a way that you could stand out? So, for example, we've got a lot of books here that have a floral motif to them. So if I was going to get into this keyword, I probably would steer clear of the floral motif because it's, you know, it's definitely been done here. So I would probably try and take another angle on this, just so that I have a better chance of standing out. The next thing we want to look at in terms of competition is the reviews. So we'll just go back up to the top here. Again, we're not looking at this Imitation Leather or Spiral Bound, we're just going to look at the paperbacks. So this one here, 9 4.5-star reviews. That's not too bad. 3 reviews at 3.5 stars. That's definitely not great. That's a hardcover, imitation leather hardcover. 6 reviews at 4.5 stars. 20 at 4 stars. So it's not bad. If the first few paperback books on this page had, a dozen reviews or more each, some of them will have over 100, then that would be pretty tough to beat in terms of competition. If each one's only got a few, 4 or 5 stars or even 3.5 stars, then, I wouldn't really be too intimidated by that. So I would say, you could probably go for it. So in general, all of those different factors, you need to think of them in combination before you make your decision. So, you want to look at how many results show up. So again, this one, 50,000, that's quite a saturated keyword. You want to look at that though in combination with, are these books selling, and how good is the quality, and how many reviews they have. So it's not an exact science, but those are, a few things that you want to consider in combination before you finally make the decision. Personally, for me, this probably isn't a niched down enough keyword for me to pursue. I might throw it in there as one of my 7 keywords, but it probably wouldn't be my main keyword that I would base my book on. It'd probably just be one that I would toss into the mix. So once you've validated the first keyword on your list, then you're just going to want to go on to that next keyword on your list, and you're going to want to do the same thing. So you're going to want to take your entire list of ideas that you came up with in the first step, and you're going to want to type each one of those into the search bar like we did for this keyword, line journals for women, and you're going to want to validate each one in this way, and this is how you're going to decide which idea you're going to pursue. And hopefully you'll have a few ideas on that list to run with at the end of it. Once you've validated your idea, we're going to head into the next video, and that's going to talk a little bit more about keyword research, and you're basically going to go through this entire process again, focused on multiple keywords that are all related to this one idea that you have come up with in this stage. So I'll see you in the next video. So thanks for joining me today. Now, if you would like a complete walkthrough of the entire low content book publishing process, all the way from idea generation, all the way through to hitting that publish button, then be sure to grab my freebie, which I will link to in the description below. And it is 3 steps to publishing your first low content book in less than a day. So be sure to check that out. If you'd like lots more low content book publishing tips, then you can also get those over at my blog at rachelharrisonsund.com. And of course, hit that subscribe button and you can be notified for all of my subsequent videos too. So once again, thank you.